The first major test came about almost exactly a year ago right now through the Calgary Regional Partnership, which I'm sure many of you know. The Calgary Regional Partnership has sort of envisioned in the next 20 or 30 years, there's going to be 1.6 million people move to the Calgary area, and about 60,000 of those people are going to be moving directly to the OKOTOKS area. Well, that doesn't exactly fit in to a population cap or living within your carrying capacity of the Sheep River of 30,000 people. Where do you put these 60,000? And we have this legislated cap on our community. Well, the Calgary Regional Partnership said, well, that's not really going to fly. You guys are going to have to figure something else out. So Council gave Okotokians basically 3 choices last year. The first choice was to stick within our carry capacity, stick to the vision of the Okotoks Sustainable Policy. The second option was to adjust that cap to 45,000 people by 2039. The third option was 60,000 people over a 30-year period, which is what the Calgary Partnership would support. A survey of residents, overwhelmingly, the residents said, no thank you, we want to stick to our population cap. Again, this year when the sort of news started to break that we're very close to tapping out on our water capacity, the Western Wheel, we did a poll online to see what residents thought. Now that we sort of are really coming close to making a decision here, our options were to stick with what we've got, live within 24,500 people, don't even worry about 30,000. And 73% of our respondents said that's what we want to do. We don't even want to worry about a 30,000 population cap. We don't want to worry about annexing more land to develop. We want to stick with what we've got. Another 20% supported a pipeline, a Calgary pipeline, and just 77% supported finding another water license to get to that 30,000. So that kind of shows you the mentality of the people out there. And the success of the Okotoks water policy has really been the buy-in from the residents in Okotoks. Many of you, whatever community you're in, you're probably having to deal with water restrictions on odd water days and those kind of things. But take what you have in your community and double it to what Okotokians are having to do right now. And those are some of the stats that you've seen, and not just have to do, but have chosen to do, which I think is the key. So what we're seeing right now is Okotoks really has 3 options. Build a regional pipeline or a pipeline to the city. Find an additional water license, which we found is a tricky situation right now, or stick to its 24,500 population cap. Now, like I said, this is going to be a real litmus test for what other communities are going to be facing. Because whatever happens in Okotoks, you can be certain that other communities are going to be facing these problems in the future. For example, if Okotoks decides to say, we're going to close our doors, we're sitting with 24,500 people, that growth is going to go somewhere. It's going to go to Black Diamond, it's going to go to Turner Valley, it's going to go to High River. Those communities have their own sustainable visions. Well, they're going to have to deal with these problems quickly because that population is coming. It's just a matter of where they're going to go. So here's some of the things that we've talked to residents in Okotoks about possible solutions. And like I said, it's very serendipitous that we talked about water licenses. In some of our discussions with residents, these are some of the things that they thought are possibilities, but like I said, these are no ironclad solutions. The main response we got from residents is the province needs to step up and get involved. They felt they sat on the sidelines for too long trying to solve these water problems. Well, now Okotoks is knocking at that door, and they just need a solution now. Water licenses need to be reviewed. Some of these residents have spoken about that already. Water licenses are such a mystery and such a shadow out there. We've got the Infinity Foothills in our area. I've covered that for many, many years. And people are scared to almost admit they have water licenses because if not, they're not in good standing. They're afraid someone's going to take it from them. So they'd rather hide it and just keep it a secret and then not have to worry about it. Well, we've come to the point now that those water licenses that aren't utilized, they've got to be used. There's water out there, people need it, and communities like Okotoks who have done their due diligence to make sure they're being conservative are still in dire straits. So we talk about some African communities. I mean, it's hard to, it's definitely apples and oranges, but we've got a community right here that could very soon be in some critical water problems. So one of the ideas that we had is water license transfer or expropriation. But rather than just give water licenses to communities who are in need, those communities have to prove that they need the water. Not only just need it, but they have to meet some environmental conservation and efficiency standards. As an example, we talked about High River using 200 gallons per person per day. And you've got another community 10 minutes to the north at 70 gallons per person per day. That other community should come to that standard. And Okotoks right now has that standard in place. So other communities are going to have to shore up and tighten up their own systems to make sure that they can meet the standard that OKOTOKS and like communities have already set. Like I said, there are underutilized water licenses out there. The province needs to get involved to make sure those who need water have it. OKOTOKS has done what it can do to conserve water, and like I said, ironically, it's going to be the first community in the province to have to deal with this situation, which is a good thing. It's kind of the perfect storm, where now that you've got a community that's done all it can, has a tight system, water residents and a population that embraces these kind of issues and challenges, and they are a good guinea pig to try and disarm. Like I said, this is only the beginning. The Calgary Regional Partnership is predicting this kind of growth. That growth is going to move somewhere. It's just a matter of where it's going to go. The real problem we have right now is there's no set solution in sight. The only solution right now is for OKOTOKS to close its doors at 24,500 people. When I say close its doors, I just mean once we get that many houses, they're not going to annex any more land, right? It's not a fact that I had my third child, now I've got to move because we're over the population. We've had that a lot of cases. So. Or can my grandma move in when she retires? No, sorry, you're over. Actually, I wouldn't mind if it was that way because I can tell my teenagers to get up. So that's basically where we're at. That's kind of a quick overview of everything. Now, some of the other issues that are going to be facing OKOTOKS in the next little while, regardless of what happens with the population cap, is the real issue with OKOTOKS right now is what's going to happen outside your own borders. And that's another thing where they really want the province to step up and help out, and where residents want the province to step up and help out, is even with that Calgary Regional Partnership, the land use framework is coming through. But you're seeing right now in OKOTOKS that we have, they've done all these things to conserve water, but now you've got two major subdivisions in the MDF foothills right on its borders, with about 1,000 homes that are going to be built in the next few years. One is the Homes on Homes development in Windlock, another was Sandstone to the east or to the west. So regardless of whatever community can do to try and make sure your own house is in order, it doesn't stop the municipality on your doorstep from doing whatever it wants. So what impact does that development have on that OKOTOKS community? Certainly they won't be taking water right from the Sheep River, but again, no one knows anything about groundwater. It's such a mystery again that it's certainly going to impact what OKOTOKS is trying to do in its own community. So the real issues that they're trying to face now is a water license, and how do you develop some sort of relationship with the municipalities that are in your backyard and your front door to try and come to some agreement that you're both on the same page when it comes to development and water usage. Thank you very much.